would have a seat, please, I'd like to call this special meeting to order. And this meeting is regarding the retention of authority to regulate public roadways. The purpose of this ballot was to vote on whether the Westbrook Village Association, the association, should retain its authority under the restated declarations of covenants, conditions, and restrictions for Westbrook Village, the declaration, to regulate public roadways within the association. Example, enforcement of parking restrictions on public roadways. So we have completed the vote. There are probably a few votes back there that have not been counted, but this measure passed with such a majority. Good job, Westbrook. There may be about 15 or 20 more votes that come in, but so far we have 1,797 yes votes for a 96% approval of that. And 63 no votes. And with that, we're going to conclude this special meeting. We're going to wait just a couple of minutes and start the next meeting. But thank you all for coming out. It's wonderful to see you. I'll let a few people get seated and then we'll post the colors. Am I not speaking into that? Thank you. Okay. All right, at this point, please stand for the presentation of the colors by the Westbrook Village Posse Honor Guard, and then remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Toast. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Honor Guard dismissed. All right, ladies and gentlemen, right now Bill Wolf is going to sing the national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hail at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous night o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in
I did not announce the honor guard, the color guard for the posse, and at this point, I'd like to do that. It was Paul Schultz, Ed Pulte, and Melinda Terrell. Thank you to the posse and for all that they do. I'm calling the meeting to order at this point. All right. I've called the meeting to order, and next up is the introduction of directors. And for those that don't know me, my name is Amy Miller, and I'm the board president. I am chair of the Cornerstone Committee, the Landscape and Facilities Committee. I serve on the Personnel Committee, Town Hall Committee, Ways and Means Committee, and the Budget 2025 Committee. Next up is Board Vice President Marcy Renaud. Marcy is the chairperson of the Architectural Control Committee. She's chair of the IT Committee, the Rec Committee she serves on, and also on the Cornerstone. Max Allen is the board secretary. Max is chair of the Recreation Committee, is on the Long Range Planning Committee, and the IT Committee. Board Treasurer Steve Merkovich. And Steve is not here this evening. He was diagnosed yesterday with pneumonia, so we told him to please stay home. And he is chair of the Personnel, chair of the Long Range Planning, chair of the Ways and Means, and of the 2025 Budget Committee. He was also the chair. Next up is board member Bruce Garrison. Bruce serves on the following committees: Landscape and Facilities, Personnel, Ways and Means, and the 2025 Budget Committee. And then, board member Tim Davis. Tim is chair of the Governmental Relations Committee and the Town Hall Committee chair. And at this point, I will ask Secretary Allen to do... Okay, Bob, I'm sorry. Yes. I'm sorry, Bob. And last but not least, let's give my hand. Bob is on the Architectural Control, and he's also a posse member. So, I'm sorry about that. It seems like I do that every year for that one. So. Okay, I'm going to ask Secretary Allen for the proof of call and proof of quorum, please.
Proof of call. Pursuant to Article 3, Section 5 of the Bylaws of Westbrook Village, written notice of the annual meeting stating the date, time, and place of the annual meeting was mailed to each member on February 22nd, 2025. Not less than 10 days, not more than 50 days before the date of the annual meeting. The proof of quorum, pursuant to Article 3, Section 6 of the Bylaws of Westbrook Village, at any meeting of the members of the corporation, the presence in person, be valid, absentee ballot, by ballot, or by valid absentee ballot of members holding 10%, 30% of the votes eligible to be cast at a meeting of members shall be necessary to constitute quorum. There are 3,910 members of Westbrook Village, making a quorum figure of 1,173. We have reached the number, what is that? 1,860. So we have more than met the quorum. Thank you.
Very good, thank you, Max, for that. At this point, we're going to deviate a tinge from the agenda, and Marcy Renaud is going to talk a little bit about our newly instated e-voting. Marcy?
So I don't know if many of you are familiar with the Big Bang Theory was fun with flags. This is going to be fun with e-voting. So we had, as Max said, 1,860 cast votes. That's 47.6%. That does not include any of the voting that occurred here tonight. This is strictly the voting that was done e-voting. There was 1,632 electronic votes done, 6 paper ballots, and 222 by phone. Last year we had 1,480. That included 40 in person. So we had a 25.6% increase in our voting this year. So after to this evening, I'm going to do some further breakdown, and I will report at the next board meeting during my IT committee report some additional breakdown of the overall voting process, but this was just the facts that we have at this moment. So, thank you.
Thank you, Marcy. Okay, next up is approval of the minutes from the March 2024 meeting. And yeah, I need a motion, but are you going to give me any results on this?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, may I have a motion, please, to accept those minutes?
I make a motion to accept the minutes.
This gentleman out here did. Can you tell us your name and your subdivision, please?
Robert Chang, Meadow Ridge, subdivision.
Okay, thank you. And may I have a second? May I have a second on that, please?
I second that motion.
All right, thank you. And with that, do you want to give me any kind of results on this, Karen?
Yes.
The meeting minutes passed, 1,839 yes and 21 no, for 98.9%.
Okay, very good. Thank you all for your participation in that. Up next is the discussion on the election of directors. We have 4 candidates running for 3 seats. And those candidates are Joe Bernier. I'm sorry, I know, Bernier. Sorry, I'm Frenchy and I do it that way.
Where's Joe?
Yeah. Joe, do you want to stand up so you can get a little better recognition? Bob Canero. Steve Merkovich. And myself, Amy Miller. At this point, we'll also take nominations from the floor. Would anybody care to offer a nomination for somebody? Okay. With that, I'm going to ask, there were no nominations from the floor. And with that, I'm going to ask to have everyone who has not yet cast a ballot and wishes to vote, please go back and do that now. All right, next up is the General Manager's Annual Report, and that's from Karen Jones. Karen?
Thank you, Amy. Thank you, everybody, for coming out this evening. Do we need to raise this just a little bit? First, if I can ask everybody to silence their phones this evening so we can keep the meeting going. I was at the wine club event last night just visiting, and I was told we need to keep this meeting short. So I'm going to try to participate and keep my part to that. Good evening, respected Westbrook Village residents, and thank you for joining us at your 2025 annual Westbrook Village meeting. I'd like to thank you for the privilege of being your general manager for this outstanding community. Your continued inspiration, input, and belief are truly appreciated. It has been a year since we gathered in this beautiful ballroom to discuss the health and the future of our community. Seated before you this evening are your neighbors and friends. Many overlook that they are homeowners just like yourselves. They volunteer numerous amount of hours to continue to improve and protect this amazing community that we all love so dearly. The Westbrook Village Board of Directors regularly face hard decisions and must choose to do what is best for the entire community. This is not an easy task, but they do it well and with a true sense of care for the community. Your unwavering responsibility as board members and guidance is beyond compare. Thank you for your time and volunteering, and thank you all as board members. On to our incredible community. Westbrook Village community continues to be one of the leading, unique, active adult communities. Some quotes that we've seen in the past year that I've kept, I think are important to share. The prestigious Westbrook Village Association Adult Community, Peoria's most desirable active adult community. It's like Mayberry, peaceful, I love it. That one surprised me a little bit. I didn't really think we were like Mayberry, but we do have a posse, so maybe there was a similarity. Impressive is the neighborhood, known for its serene surroundings, beautifully kept communal areas, and friendly residents. Westbrook Village allows you to enjoy affordable, carefree living with easy access to the 101 freeway, shopping, and entertainment districts. Those are just some quotes that other people are saying about Westbrook. I think we should all reflect on that and how wonderful this community continues to be. There were many other quotes, but I'm going to try to keep this evening short. And most of you that know me, I like to visit. Without all of you residents, community has no meaning. What great compliments all these quotes were to all of you. At our recent new homeowners orientation, we heard many compliments about our community and why they chose their home here. Many of the responses that we got were the amenities, the friendly people, they feel safe, and it's affordable. Those are people that have recently bought their home in Westbrook Village. The Long Range Planning Committee also did a recent survey to our new homeowners. We will be publishing those results for the community to see very soon. The comments were very similar to what I just shared with you. Be proud, Westbrook Village. You do all of this and you make it happen. What makes Westbrook so great, we often ask. It's the residents, it's the volunteers, it's the posse, it's the library, it's so many things. Whether you're calling your neighbor just to check on them, giving somebody a pat on the back saying their hard work in their yard looks great, checking on them because you haven't seen them in a few days, donating food to Westbrook Cares, donating for the coat drives, or just a friendly wave and hello. It all matters. That is what defines community. Please continue to show your compassion and kindness each day in our village. A smile and a wave can really make someone's day. The past year, we lost one of our esteemed board members, Michael Green. Mike is truly missed and will be fondly remembered for all the great things he did for our community and the golf clubs. Joanne, keep smiling, he's watching over you. Thank you, Westbrook Village Posse and the Color Guard. Did you all know that the Posse is fully funded by your in-kind donations? They run solely on volunteers and donations. I don't know what their exact expenses are, but the last I heard, it's over $65,000 a year to keep the Posse running. So please continue to support our Posse. They are the eyes and ears that help make this community so great. Commander Giddens, are you with us this evening? Mark Giddens, our new commander in the back. He's wonderful to work with. If you haven't met Mark, he's been at many of our meetings. He's got some great plans for the future for the community and the Posse. So thank you, Mark, for all your hard work. He said I keep surprising him at meetings and putting him on the microphone. I'm not going to do that to you tonight, Mark. He was at my GM coffee talk yesterday and came prepared with the list, so I can't surprise him anymore. If you're going to be leaving for the summer or going on a well-deserved vacation, please be sure to stop into the Posse office, sign up for their vacation watch of your property. This is a wonderful service only available to Westbrook Village residents. What they can do to help your property and keep an eye on it, whether a sprinkler breaks, a hot water heater in your garage. I can't tell you how many times we get a call at the administration office saying, this house has water coming out from underneath the garage door. Okay? Help us to help you. You've heard this from me many times before. I'm going to say it again. Bring me your problems, but please come with two possible solutions. I implore you as residents to do this. Together, we are better as a community. Service Direct Landscaping. In 2024, we renewed our contract with them. Their maintenance division, the improvements division, and their arbor division continue to keep your community beautiful and safe. Thank you, SDL. The Westbrook Living Magazine. Judy, Lori, are you here? I haven't seen them. But if many of you don't know, the association doesn't pay for the magazine. That is all privately owned, and it runs on its advertisers. So we encourage all residents, when you're looking for a vendor, go to the back of the magazine, support those vendors that support our magazine and support our community. We appreciate you doing that. Let's review some of the great projects that were completed in 2024. Despite the rising costs of water, landscaping, utilities, materials, chemicals, we continue our fiduciary responsibility to not overspend. Our reserve specialist mentioned that a roof replacement that may have cost $50,000 a decade ago might easily cost you $80,000 to $100,000 now. That is very difficult to swallow. So, with that knowledge, we continued our infrastructure projects, interior finishes of painting and LED lighting, the beautiful work that was done at the Phase 2 Country Club entrance with all the granite and the riprap and the new irrigation and plants. Beautiful project. Thank you to our Landscaping Facilities Committee and SDL for making that happen. Ongoing repairs and painting. We have 18.4 miles of walls in Westbrook Village. That is a constant, cell phone. You're buying everybody beer. So that is a feat, a task in its own. 18.4 miles. Think about that. That is a constant project. We spent $128,000 last year maintaining our walls. For those of you that didn't know, the administration office flooded last summer. That was horrible. That cleanup and restoration of the administration office took its toll on a lot of employees. Thank you, Sean Gorenstein, Facilities Manager, for your hard work on that. These are just a few of the projects that we did last year, as well as the beautiful parking lot you all drove in and walked in on tonight. That Lakes project was the first time in 40 years that we did a complete grind, took out 3 inches of, milled out 3 inches of asphalt and resurfaced. So hopefully we're good for another 40 years. Thank you to Roadrunner Paving, they did a great job. All large-scale communities like Westbrook Village experience change, aging facilities, failing infrastructure, new trends, and ever-changing resident needs. We are no different, but the path that we choose to move forward on determines our success. That's where the Long Range Planning Committee comes in, working on where to improve the facilities, what to look for in the future, what are trends, what are facts, and knowing the difference between the two. Currently, they are working on improving the fitness center. This board of directors continues to support these types of projects through fiscal responsibility, and I'm thankful for that, as I'm sure you all are. Careful spending and close financial oversight continue to be the utmost importance for myself and the board of directors. Our Ways and Means members will discuss the financial report of our community shortly. Next, I would like to introduce our staff. And I think I have a few of them still in counting ballots, so I'm going to move that just a couple minutes. Our staff, Bruce and I were just talking about this tonight, we have 36 staff members. 17 of those are part-time members. We are open 362 days a year, 5:30 in the morning till 10 p.m. at night. That is a difficult schedule to make happen with that many people. Denise, Sean, Jody, everybody does a great job with that, and thank you to our staff. You've often heard me say, you purchased your home here with an expectation and a lifestyle in mind. It is our job to ensure that happens by maintaining the common areas, fair enforcement of the governing documents, handling minor neighborhood issues, monitoring revenue and expenses, entertaining you, answering questions, listening, and guiding you, the residents of Westbrook Village. Can we make all 7,400 residents perfectly happy? That's almost impossible. But we do what is best for the community as a whole. We pledge to do our very best and give it our all here at Westbrook Village. Thank you, Westbrook Village staff. I hate to introduce the staff without half of them, so I'm going to come back and do that later. Amy? Yep. Thank you all, and remember, Westbrook Village is a lifestyle. Go enjoy yourself.
And now I have to lower it a little. Okay, next up is the financial report. And as I mentioned, Steve Merkovich, our treasurer, is very ill. So, Bruce Garrison and I are going to give the financial report. So bear with us. We got this notification yesterday late. So Bruce is first going to discuss the operations part of the budget. Oh. Okay. I will. Okay. Karen reminded me that now is the appropriate time to thank members of the budget committee. And part of the committee is the Ways and Means individuals, Steve Merkovich, Amy Miller, and Bruce Garrison. And then the budget committee was, those three individuals, Jim Schultz, Ed Struther, Paul Schnepsky, and Kurt Kimmerling, and Karen and AGM Jody Snyder. But thank you very much. I'd like to thank those people. Okay, without further ado, Bruce is going to do the operations part of the budget. Thank you.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, glad you're here tonight. This is a joy to see everybody here and most of the seats full. That's special. That means you folks care. I am here to share with you and review the financials of our operating budget for 2024. And this will include our annual assessment reserve fund review, 4-year look, and the reserve fund ratio. And then we'll go into the forecast for 2025 with the operations fund and reserve fund. There are a fair number of numbers here, and I'm going to try to just pick out certain bullet points. And hopefully most of you can see up here. This is as large as we're going to get it. But our operations fund, it is used to manage the day-to-day operations of our HOA. Includes the landscape costs, insurance, employee wages and benefits, repairs and maintenance, utilities, etc., etc. This is primarily funded by our annual assessment. And as you all well know, our annual assessment this year was $795.90. I want you all to see these numbers and how they've changed. In 2024, it was $776.50. 2023 was $748.80. So we are limited by how much we can raise it, but we have to be very appreciative of our staff, management, and our board that we have been able to stay within budget year to year for quite a while now. And kudos to all of us who've done that. In previous years, included in the operation budget is an optional amount to transfer to the reserve fund in order to continue major improvements. In 2024, it was $125,000. 2023, it was $225,000. In 2022, it was $200,000. And in 2021, it was $95,000. In our current budget of 2025, operating expenses increased 6.9%. And unfortunately, our assessment revenue only increased by 2.5%. This may prevent us from transferring to the reserve fund this year, but we will wait later in the year to reassess this and see what funds, if there are any, available to transfer. Our reserve fund, used for major improvements, equipment replacement, and infrastructure. This is funded mainly by new homeowner preservation fees, which we have all paid that one-time fee. It's important to know that these funds cannot be commingled. The annual audit ensures proper management of each fund. Our operating fund summary. I'm going to stick with the actual numbers. You may also see what the budgeted numbers are. Our actual budget for our member assessments was $3,036,000. Other revenue, which included the RV lot, rec centers, resales, was $390,000 for a total revenue of $3,426,000. Now, if you'll notice, we had an excess of $71,000 from what we had budgeted. That's a good thing. Our expenses, on the other hand, you'll notice that we went over budget on a few of them. Admin expense went over by 2,000. Landscaping went over by 9,000. Payroll went over by 9,000. The pool and rec center went over by 15,000. Now we have a whole bunch of other expenses that were under budget and came in at 290,000. So we had a surplus of 23,000 from what our budget had stated. So what this means overall is we ended up only 12,000 over budget on our expenses for the year. And then you take our additional revenue that we earned at 71,000 and subtract the 12,000 we were over budget, we still ended up with a $59,000 surplus. Again, good thing. I guess I jumped a page almost, but I'll repeat myself because it's up there again. 59,000 surplus after making an end of year $125,000 transfer to the reserve fund. Additional expenses include increases in utilities, water, which was a huge thing this year, landscaping, payroll, and taxes. We do have effective financial oversight, and this paramount for the success and the sustainability of any organization. The Ways and Means Committee, Board of Directors, and General Manager each play critical roles in ensuring financial integrity and accountability. Our 2025 operations fund budget highlights. Our 2025 annual assessment increase, $19.40. Me as a homeowner, that's a big yay. That came to $795.90 per home, which was the 2.5 increase from 2024. Our 2025 assessment increase is based on the CPI, Consumer Price Index, and that determines what our assessment can go to, and that is as per our CC&Rs, which are our governing documents. Current inflation, however, impacts our budget. Costs of supplies, materials, and utilities and water have all been increasing dramatically. Landscaping maintenance contract increase, staff and wage benefits, other outside services such as insurance, computer support, accounting, and payroll. These are all gradually increasing. And now to the reserve fund. And I am going to hand that off to my partner in crime here, Ms. Amy Miller. Thank you very much.
That was wonderful, thank you. You made it very clear. And I'm going to start by maybe muddying the waters a little bit and discuss the reserve study. We, during this presentation, will be looking at two of them. We had the first one done in 2020, and a lot of the report tonight will be based on information and forecasts in that particular study. And then 2025, a new reserve study will go into effect. So some of the figures may seem a little, I don't know, elevated or whatnot, but we had to use the old 2020 study until we had the new one completed. So, onward. Final 2024 reserve fund cash on hand is $4.5 million. Reserve fund revenue positive variance of $233,000 is a result of resales and some great interest income. 2024 reserve fund expenditures were just shy of $800,000. We had budgeted $1.1 million. Reserve fund ratio for the end of 2024 is at 123%. And please remember, that's from the 2020 reserve study. And that study didn't have all the recent years of inflation that really did affect our spending ability. So it is at 123%. What is the reserve fund ratio? Ratio of cash on hand divided by a fully funded reserve amount, where the fully funded reserve amount is an independent appraisal performed by an outside agency. Industry standard for HOAs is to maintain that 70% means a solid financial future and a very low likelihood of a special assessment. Those two dirty words. Okay, on to the next slide. Cash on hand at the beginning of 24 in the reserve fund was $4,056,000. Okay, $4,057,000. Then there were different components for the income consisting of new homeowner preservation fees. And we had budgeted for 150 homes to be sold, but we sold 179, or 29 extra homes kicked into that fund. We also earned interest. Interest rates went up last year, nicely, and we got some grants, and we got a windfall of the ERC, Employee Retention Credit Fund, of $231,000. So total cash available for the reserve fund was $5,297,000. We spent some money on landscape granite, and it goes down the list, to being perimeter walls, air conditioning, lakes, asphalt resurface, the woodshop dust collection, and the pickleball court resurface, and irrigation lines, and other. And it came up to just shy of $800,000. But we had budgeted 1.1, please remember. So cash on hand at the end of last year was $4,498,000. And as per the 2020, I'm going back to emphasize that, reserve study, to be fully funded, we would need $3,668,000, which ended up yielding us being funded 123%. But we all know what inflation really means in all of this. So. Okay, on to the next page. I'll go quickly over that. This discusses revenues that came into that fund in varying years. And really important to know is 77% of the reserve fund comes from the capital preservation fee of new home purchases. So that's quite a bit. We'll go on to reserve fund spending history in different years. Okay. You can see that it is very much in line, except for 2022. And in line, I mean they're all similar expenditure years. But in 2022, we funded the Vistas pool. So Infrastructure projects also are expensive and are on the reserve study. And they're common areas of wall and repair and paint, HVAC replacements, IT systems, and irrigations. Major projects were the 83rd Avenue sound wall. And in 21, we funded Pickleball Stadium and East Courts in 24, and the Vistas Pool and Lakes Asphalt. Those were some of the major projects we took on during that term. Okay, now we are going to move on to the 2025 reserve study. We're putting that old one that had really great numbers, and we're being more realistic on what inflation is doing to our spending ability. And this is the new reserve study stated that we had at the beginning of 25, $4,498,000. And we expect to sell this year 150 homes. Let's hope it's more than that. And interest on investments at $85,000. Interest rates may be going down, I don't know. And then total cash available for the reserve fund is $5,248,000. The 2025 large expenditures that we expect to put through on reserve fund are the RV lot asphalt replacement, common area wall and replace, that's an ongoing big expense, as is HVAC systems, perimeter fencing for the pickleball courts, and fitness center refresh, with a large number also in other smaller projects, on projects that do wear out that we need to address as we go along. So that makes the cash on hand projection. These are all forecasts because we're in 2025 now with very realistic inflationary numbers incorporated in. And cash on hand at the end of 2025 is $4,029,000 and fully funded per the 2025 reserve study. If we funded everything, it would cost $5,552,000, which puts us at the magic number I know you all want to hear. Here it is, 73%. So that's where we're projecting, and that will be. Westbrook Village Homeowners Association remains on a very solid financial position. Remember, anything above 70% is considered by the industry to be solid financial standing, and would not likely yield the need for a special assessment. Our current revenue minimally supports our operating expenses, which are generated mainly from annual homeowner assessments. And we all know the story on that inflation hit us hard while our annual assessment didn't go up in a realistic amount compared to that. The 2025 total reserve fund expenditures are $1.2 million, and those are projections. The 2025 projected year-end balance is $4,029,000 with a fully funded ratio of 73%. And we continue to maintain fiscal responsibility while investing in our future. And I thank you all for listening. I hope we made that short. Cindy, did we? And thanks to Bruce. Karen is going to introduce some of the volunteer recipients, but I also, as our people out, so we can.
I think we have most of the staff, yes. Why don't we do that first? Okay, excuse me. I would like to ask all of the Westport Village staff that's here to please come forward. This is what they tried to talk me out of as late as 4:30 tonight when we were eating. You really need to come up front.
There you go. Come on, get up.
Yay. Sarah Maxwell, the lady behind all the beautiful e-blasts and communications. Barb Piat, she's our new minute taker for Westbrook Village. She's also a resident here and she's doing wonderful for us. And she's also been helping with the electronic voting. So if you talk to Barb, this is the face you talk to him. Esteemed Facilities Manager, Sean Gorenstein. Our wonderful Assistant General Manager, Jody Schneider. My left hand, right hand, left foot, right foot, but not my right hip, Renee Larson. Then we have Shelley Eichner. For those of you that knew Shelley when she worked in the receptionist, she's worked for us since 2016, and she's then transferred over to the administration office. Shelley Eichner. And Julie from the Love Boat. Wait a minute. Denise Murphy, our Recreation Center's manager. Smithwick, our Recreation Center Secretary. Without all these great people, we couldn't do it, and all of their staff, so thank you all very much. So tonight, we're going to honor a very special person for Westbrook Village. This is a man that is an original homeowner to Westbrook Village. He has been a city council member since 2011. He has assisted us with a $50,000 assistance for the Country Club entrance project. He assisted us in naming the Westbrook Village Trailhead. He has assisted us with grants. He's gotten calls late in the evening when we're frustrated about obtaining permits at the city. This gentleman is what we call a true friend of Westbrook Village. Bill Patena has retired from City of Peoria City Council, but he is still with us as one of our wonderful neighbors of Westbrook Village. And tonight we want to thank and honor Bill Patena. If you would come up. So tonight we're giving, if I don't drop this, we're giving Bill, we need a black background, with Appreciation 2025, Bill Patena. Our community cannot thank you enough for all your support through the years. Thank you, Bill.
Amy Miller. I'd like to thank the Board of Directors, Aaron Jones, Westbrook Posse, and of course all of you, the citizens. It's been an absolute pleasure for me to serve the Ironwood community. but it's been a bigger pleasure for me to serve Westbrook Village. Westbrook Village is yours, but it's mine too, because I live here along with all of you. My wife and I moved to Westbrook Village in 1997, and the sales office used to be where the library is now. And I remember we walked out into the parking lot and she said to me, did we just buy a house? I said, yes, I think we did. Through the years, there's been a number of things that I've been able to do for Westbrook Village, as Karen so kindly mentioned. We had the Shred-a-thons and we had Park Fest, and I was able to give money to the posse just about every year through district funds. But the two things I'm most proud of, I think, are the Westbrook Village Trailhead, which gives all the Westbrook Village residents access to a bike route, jogging trail, walking trail. It's got a ramada, it's got cool water there to drink, and it's got a place where you can even do minor repairs on your bicycles, so I think that's really a big deal. But the biggest thing I think I accomplished was I got called by the golf club several years ago, and they asked me if I could talk to the city to provide water that they have in a well site to the HOA. And they would be able to sell that water to the HOA for cheaper than the city could sell it to them. And so I went, it was a time when Peoria was purchasing independent water companies in the city because we wanted to provide water to all of the city. I think we had 5 independent water companies. And so I went and talked to our mayor, Kathy Carlett at the time, and I talked to our city attorney, and they were a little hesitant about that because we were trying to buy up water companies and not be getting new ones, and this would be a new water company. So I talked to the mayor several times and our city attorney several times, and finally they agreed that we could sell water. So we disconnected the city water, we connected the well, and the golf course was able to provide water to the HOA at a much cheaper cost than the city. And it also provided a revenue stream for the golf course. So those are the two things I enjoyed the most. I miss being on the city council already, but the new man, Rick Stokes, I've already had a chat with him, and I believe he's reached out to Karen. I think Westbrook will be in good hands. I told him some of the things I gave my district funds to, and he agreed that he would follow up with that, like the posse and Shred-a-thons, and doing whatever he could do to help Westbrook Village. So they'll be in good hands. I hope to see you all around in the neighborhood, and when we do, give me a wave. Thank you all very much.
Don't forget, I have your number.
I know.
If we still have problems or we don't get items from Mr. Stokes, we might call you. But when I contacted Mr. Stokes, he said, Mr. Patena has already given me a heads up. So yes, April 3rd, Councilman Stokes is sponsoring the Westbrook Village Shred-a-thon, and he's talked about sponsoring and supporting the posse. So thank you so much. So to cap on what he said about the water, we save 30% under what the city charges for their water. So the water that we get from the golf course is 30% less than what we would pay through the city of Peoria. All of our water is not tied into the golf course because that's irrigation type water. We have drinking areas and places we weren't able to tie in. We tied in well over 50% of our backflows, so we do receive a substantial savings. So Bill, thank you for all your hard work. Amy, thank you for all your hard work. That was a long summer, wasn't it? So this next person that we're going to introduce, I'm not going to cry. He calls me mom, his work mom. This is one of our hardest working, dedicated team members in Westbrook Village. And his peers this year voted him Employee of the Year for his positive attitude, work ethic, dedication to his team and Westbrook Village. You are making an invaluable asset to Westbrook Village. Sean Gorenstein. Sean, you've been an exemplary example to the staff and the residents here at Westbrook Village. I don't know of anything that's been asked of you that you haven't been willing to do or step up or go in your office and Google it. Sean will look at everybody and say, did you guys Google that yet? If not, I'll go do it. So whether it's a printing project, a repair, or something, Sean is the man, and if you see Sean, say hi. And Sean is your 2024 Employee of the Year. Thank you, Sean. So special recognition tonight. I started to talk about Shelley. Shelley, would you stand up, please? Don't cry. We had a pinky swear, and you're not going to cry. Shelley has decided that she's leaving Westbrook Village in Arizona. Shelley's parents were owners here in Westbrook Village. Shelley inherited their home after they passed away. Shelley has been an integral part of this community for many years. She worked at the rec center since 2016, and how long have you worked at administration?
Just shy of 3 years.
She's worked with us for about 3 years. For those of you that have worked with Shelley, you'll always get a smile and a hello. And Shelley, we can't thank you enough for all that you've done. We know your heart was with your family in Nebraska, and we appreciate everything you've done, and you're going to be missed. Again, I talk about volunteers. Without the volunteers of this community and the staff, none of this is possible. So, I'm done. I'm going to turn it back over to Amy. Thank you all.
Thank you, Karen, and thank you to all the volunteers and people that really contribute their time and their hearts to Westbrook Village. We appreciate it. All right, on for the big part, comments from the floor. If you have any comments or questions, I hope I can answer them, or I will direct you to who might be able to help with that. Yes, we ask that you come up to the microphone with that and state your name and what subdivision you live in, please. So, first up, anybody want to make a, besides Sean? Any comment, question, anything that might be occurring to people?
Hi, I'm Carrie.
Hi, Carrie.
St. Andrews, and I actually have 3 questions.
Sure.
My first question, the RV lot that's going to be done this summer, is there going to be a waiver for RVs to be able to park in front of their homes, or where is the RV parking going to be while this project is
I
being
believe
completed?
we will be working with homeowners on that for you to park in from your homes. Yes.
Okay, that's question 1. Question 2, the entrance clock on Country Club.
Yes.
It seems like it never works. What are we doing about that?
Okay, we have a repair coming in on that. I don't know the time frame when that will be happening, but evidently the heat got to it and the motor burned out. And this is the second large repair that we've had on that clock in 10 years. I believe the repairs have totaled around $10,000 to date.
Okay. And my final question is, the chairs at the Lakes Pool, we still have the old, ugly, yucky chairs here at the lakes. Is there any plans to update those like we did at, I mean, there's some updated here, but at the Vistas, are there plans to update those too?
I don't know the answer to that.
The answer is yes.
The answer is yes.
We've already gotten the bids from Two Kings Hospitality, and they will match the other sling chairs. They were approved for the 2025 budget.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay. Thank you. Anything else?
Joy Groves from St. Andrew's Place. I just want to clarify what is with the reserve fund.
Yeah, here.
Sorry. I just want to clarify what it is with the reserve fund. So last year, we were 117%, and now we're 73%. Is that correct?
I did explain that that's two different reserve studies that are examined in those numbers. One is the reserve study from 2020, and inflation did not really impact in that study. That's why we were at 117. And now with the 2025, inflation has been really incorporated into that study. So it's two different reserve studies, Joy, that came up with those different numbers.
So the fully funded balance from the 2020 reserve study was 3.6 million. The 2025 reserve study fully funded balance was 5.5 million.
And that's inflation for
That's the inflationary dollar that they came up with in those 4 years.
Okay.
So the funds are still there, but the value of those are different.
Well, okay. I'm not a
financial guru.
financial guru,
Yeah.
definitely. But I just felt like that was a significant drop. And then the other thing is, I just think you need to prepare people that at some point we're going to have an assessment. I mean, for you guys to act like it's just going to go away, I mean, inflation's coming up. I don't know if everybody realizes, but because of our bylaws, we cannot raise our dues anymore. You've got to understand, when I was on the Long Range Planning Committee, I went out and investigated other communities. And our dues are so cheap compared to any other community out there. And with inflation, we've got to realize that, at some point, we're going to have to look at that. So I think just a realistic, you need to let people know, that is on the horizon, so maybe they can save. So
Okay.
that's my point.
Good, thank you, Joy. Thanks for that input. Anything else? Anyone else? Comments? Questions?
Hello, my name is Joanne Sacco and I live at Torrey Pines. My question, I have two questions.
Speak in the mic.
I have two questions.
Sure.
It's regarding the pool. I heard that they're going to be closing the new baby pool, I call it, the Vistas, because of the slippery tile and the liability of people slipping in it and falling in it. So my question is, who decided on the blue slippery tile, and why did they decide on a 3-foot pool for most of the pool? Maybe they want to just make that the baby pool.
I think that the decisions on the tile and the pool were made by different committees along the way. I don't know that I can assign it to one person's name. And I personally think a 30-foot pool is wonderful. So it's just a joke.
Yeah, it was a joke.
So the pool went through all the appropriate committees, and the tiles do pass the current Maricopa County code. But the board of directors has heard the concerns, and that's on the agenda and being discussed by the board at this point. There's been no firm decision made on that. So please understand that. It will be up for discussion at the board.
I did hear, speaking to two board members, that possibility of them closing it in May. And I said, why would you close it in May? Well, we have to wait till all the snowbirds go. But what about the residents here that that's when they start going? Because they're gonna have to drain the pool, bring the tile up, replace it, and then rewater the pool. So who's going to pay for that?
Well, first of all, the pay for that will be out of the general operating fund or the reserve
That's what I
fund.
said. Who made the decisions for that?
It hasn't been made. There's been no.
Just a moment.
Okay, you betcha. Go.
I redid my bathroom, and I picked a nice, shiny tile. The guy said to me, you don't want to use that tile because you'll slip and fall and hurt yourself in your shower. So who would have made that stupid decision and not chose that? Because that pool was done in what, 2023? August?
2022.
2022. And it is now 2025. And who would ever think that we would have to redrain that pool and fix something that whoever made that decision should be entitled to pay that? Because we as residents couldn't make that decision.
Well, your elected board members made decisions.
But you said you didn't know it was a bunch of committees.
And all the committees made decisions along the way. I don't know who actually picked out the actual tile. I don't know who did that.
You don't know who made that decision.
No, I do not.
That's not a good thing. And then also, why?
Go on, please.
There was something else I was going to say. And then, above all, why don't we have like, I heard something about the gym too. They're going to do stuff to the gym. I go to the gym every day. No one ever took a survey of what I thought there. Why don't we get people, residents, we pay for this.
The Long Range Planning Committee is in this month, isn't it? Starting a survey of the specific users. When you go into the fitness center, you will see staff and volunteers asking for a few minutes of your time for that survey. Okay. So it's coming.
Okay, they've been working on this gym for 7 years and always gonna make it bigger, make it better, but yet you wanna pull that flooring up, which is totally fine, and repaint and put murals. Why do you need to spend that money? Why don't you just wait and save the money up and make it a nicer, open, put the doors out? And nobody thinks that should even be like that. You shouldn't have to pull that up because we're all very happy in the gym, like it is now. And I think you need to speak to more residents, get their opinions. We have so many people here that have professions.
Please give your opinion on the fitness center survey. You will probably be approached. Please do.
And I would like to know who made the decision for the blue tile and the three.
I don't know. Why don't I know? I can't do everything.
When I did my house, I knew what was going on.
Well, that's you and one small house. So why would I be responsible for
I'm not
knowing?
saying you.
Oh, because you said it. It feels like you're attacking me.
I'm just looking at you because you're out there.
Okay, I get it.
I could look at
Okay.
everybody.
Okay.
But no, I didn't say
I don't.
I said who. The who.
Okay. And that was an answer for me. Hi, Mike.
My name is Mike Barnett. I've been here 30 years. I live in Cypress Point Estates. I've been through all these pool remodels, and I think they're all wonderful, and I like the blue tile.
I'm Lisa Culbertson, and I live in Cambridge Crossing. And I'm just curious regarding everybody's comments about the blue tile. Is it possible instead of replacing all the tiles, every other put some grip ones? Because if you're going to slip on a little tile, you're going to stop on the next one. That might be a money saver, just an idea.
Yeah, that's a good suggestion, and we will ask the contractor what can be done to make that less slippery. Thank you. Anything else?
I swim every day.
I'm Bob Shanks from Meadow Ridge. I just want to thank you for putting up with all this.
It's called a labor of love. Okay.
Brandy Cytrasic from Scotland Hills. I just want to say thank you, and what a privilege it is for me, for many of us, to live in this wonderful place. I am from Canada. I have dual citizenship. I was born in California, and I brought friends down and I showed them around. I told them how much my fees were. They go, wow, that's all you pay? I just think when I first moved with my sister who lived in the valley for 30-some years, and when it came clear that I needed to find my own place after my husband passed away, she said, well, do you know where you want to go? I said, yeah, I know exactly where I'd really like to go, but I don't know if I can afford it. My church is Peace Lutheran, and when my great-grandfather was a baker in Scotland, and when we're passing a family recipe down for shortbread to the 6th generation, and when we came to look at the first place, she said, well, I think it's a done deal at Scotland Hills. But I just want to say thank you.
Thank you.
I feel it's such a privilege with all of the amenities that are here. It's like a heaven on earth. Thank you so much.
Hi, I'm Shelley Logan. I've been coming here 25 years, and I just have a couple ideas to share with the board. I now live here full-time, and I had the privilege of, I don't want to cry, because I lost the love of my life, as you know. But I do agree with the lady who talked about the special assessment, because we do have the most wonderful community. There's no question about it. I said to my friend driving here tonight, aren't we so lucky to live in such a beautiful place? But we might need to invest a little more, even if it was a $200 assessment per household for a year, to give us a goal to upgrade some of our facilities, because some of us are 62 and we're going to be here another 20 and 30. And so, and I know what I paid $300 a month in the last homeowners association I was in. So we are blessed. We are so blessed. But at the same time, it's our home and our community, and many of us are living here full time now, and so we want these nice things that we see other more new communities have. I'd love to see us have more activities, more fun activities, and I've got a ton of ideas. And then last but not least, technology allows people now, because we did it in my last home in Texas, app and it lets me in the pool. Touch my app and it lets me in the gym. Touch my app and it lets me go into a special park. It cuts employees. It saves money, but it's so exciting to see us voting technologically. So I'm hoping you're thinking in that direction, that we can go that way.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Shelley. Anyone else? No?
I'd like you all to go home feeling pretty good tonight. I want you to know that we do not show any favoritism. We don't play with anybody. I came home from vacation to find I had been selected to repaint my flagpole holder. Have a good one.
Okay, he's selected. Okay, with that, I'm going to announce the results of the election. And I will try to do the quick math and announce these in winning order. And I'm going to mispronounce Joe's last name again. Probably. First up is Joe Bernier. He got 17,020 votes. Next up is Amy Miller. She got 1,181 votes. And the last person that will be seated on the board is Steve Merkovich. He got 995. And I'd like to personally thank Bob Panero for his efforts in running. Thank you very much, Bob. And a little tweak on the numbers regarding the retention of authority to regulate public roadways. We got 1,811 votes and 1,811 yes votes and 63 no votes. That part didn't change, but we got 14 more yes votes. Okay, and the annual meeting minutes, we got 15 people who approved on that. So that's the results of the election. I thank you all for coming out tonight. I appreciate your questions and comments, and I hope you all have a good rest of your evening. Thank you.